Hello, today's May 6th, 2013, and I don't know why news media has to create stories or worry about it. I try to take a little time and take care of some other things and maybe catch up on a little rest, a little social time, which is really rare these days. And I can't. Things happen so fast and there's so much going on that I almost feel like I have to do something so that I keep up, which I won't be able to do. I'm just a one-man show here, but I do have a few things today I thought I'd bring up. And, the first is this. Many of you are familiar, I think, with a principle called Occam's razor. And to simplify it, it means just take things down to the simplest possible explanation, and that's probably the correct one. There's some truth to that by and large across the human experience. But I can tell you right now that that is not the case when you look at government operations, okay? Be it just things going on in the government accounting office or as sinister as black operations out of the FBI or the CIA or any of those. To try to apply Occam's razor to the Boston Marathon is not just a mistake, it's a lie, okay? When you have an intelligence operation, there is no way you can call it by Occam's razor. It's not possible. Now, of course, there's a big flack here saying, well, this isn't a government operation. Look at this, okay? Look at what we have here. These guys were being monitored for 5 years. They were sent over to Russia, to Dagestan and other places. The FBI comes out and says, who are these guys on these photographs, on these video images, when they already knew who they were? The drill going on. And even if they weren't Kraft there were people that were proud of Kraft. They were wearing their hats. They may have been part of the CST, the Civilian Support Team, but I don't think so. I think there were Kraft International people there acting for and in behalf of Kraft and some portion of the U.S. government, be it the FBI, CIA, or one of those other rogue organizations, who knows? But they had a big backing. There's no question about that. Okay? So, anyway, there's a lot more I could talk to about Boston. I think we really beat that down. I think anybody that looks at it can see what's going on here. The martial law they instituted there to look for one guy. They didn't even find him in the boat across the street. It's really obvious that Occam's razor cannot be applied to everything. So when somebody comes to you and says, that conspiracy stuff, that's ridiculous because it's too complicated. Too many people have to be shut up. Too much of this, too much of that. Occam's razor does not apply to those situations. Okay? They just don't. So I thought I'd bring that up, something a little different to talk about. Well, last night I was thinking I hadn't put out a video in a day or so, I guess, and I wasn't really going to do one today. But I got a comment last night, actually a message in one of my personal emails saying, please don't stop. I guess they thought I wasn't going to do this anymore or something. We want you to comment on what's going on. Don't stop at this point. Well, it's like I said in, I think the one on Nathan Hale. I don't plan on stopping. I have a limited reserve here, so to speak. But at the same time, I realize the importance of it, and I understand that New Hampshire Representative Stella Tremblay is really suffering right now, and I want to apologize to her, but I want to also give her a high five for being courageous. She's a woman out there doing this. And women are tough, don't misunderstand me. But as I said in one of my posts on the comments, where are the men of valor in this country that will speak the truth and shoot straight, as John Wayne used to say? Where are they? They hide behind their government money, their paychecks, these representatives, these senators. So many things have happened in the federal government alone that should have been brought before Congress for impeachment proceedings, not just against various presidents, but their staffs, their cabinets, bureaucrats. So you don't impeach bureaucrats, you fire them and charge them with crimes, but it's all ignored. Yet if you spit on the sidewalk on the street, they want to throw the book at you. There's no honor there. I don't care who they are. I used to say that maybe there were a few, and like I say, there's probably a handful. The rest of them, they're all criminals. If they know about these things, and I'm sure they do, and we could go everything from Obama's birth certificate to Benghazi. I don't care. All of it. We could do all of it. They know what's going on up there. They can't be any dumber than I am, okay? They can't be any dumber than I am, and I can see it. There's circumstantial evidence, there's reasonable suspicion, and there's probable cause that high officers in our government have committed high crimes and misdemeanors and treason. I can see it, and they should see it, but they refuse to do their duty. I'm getting upset already. This is crazy. I wasn't going to do that. If a lowly former lieutenant colonel can see these things, certainly our grand, illustrious senators and congressmen can. And they need to step up to the plate. And if they don't do it, the state legislatures and the state governors must do it to protect us. Because if you don't do it, guys, it's going to get ugly. It's going to happen. Why don't we just stop this thing before it goes any further? All right, take a deep breath. Glenn Beck, bless his heart. He comes out here and does a very dangerous thing. Again, there were other people that brought some of these bits of information up about the Saudi national and the Boston bombing. But what he had really put him on the radar. So, bless him for that, as I've already said, and bless him for his comments at the NRA convention. The big push now is that the majority wants gun control. They want this, they want that. Americans have lost sight of the purpose of the Bill of Rights. Why those things are. They don't know history. They're too concerned about their beer and their television shows and their games or, whatever. That they don't look at history, and history will repeat itself. No man is above, not even me, no man is above despotic behavior given the right circumstances. That's why our founders chained the government down with the Constitution. We've had all these shootings and all these things, and I'll just point it out. Occam's razor again. Were they lone wolves? No. But guess who was all around these people? Government agencies, DARPA, the CIA, FBI. You could even include Bin Laden and Anwar al-Awlaki on these lists. Drugging these people up. And nobody wants to look at that. Occam's razor? A guy woke up in the morning and just decided that he was going to make a plan to go kill a bunch of people? That's against human nature. I'm not saying there aren't criminals in our society that'll do that. But these things are manufactured. Occam's razor, again, doesn't apply. So, I went back to that. But why? Because of the Second Amendment. It doesn't matter what the majority wants. Majoritarian coercion is not permitted under our form of government. The Bill of Rights are unalienable. They cannot be removed, even by the majority. And if they try to do so, they are committing a wrongdoing, maybe even a crime. And if those people think they're suffering from these government-instigated crimes and all the criminals, this whole drug war that's been put into place here obviously has been used to make us afraid. And now terrorism. And again, I went through the terrorism counteraction course in 1988. I was one of the first officers to do so. And I saw the game plan then, and I started warning people as much as I could without committing unauthorized disclosure. And one of these days when I have the proper audience, I'm gonna spill my guts. I'm gonna sing like a canary, because they knew about this in 1988. What they're doing, it's been no secret. But timing is everything. Okay, so I'm not gonna do it right now. All right, so majoritarian coercion doesn't count. The Constitution is what matters. And if they want to throw the Constitution away, then stop taking an oath to support and defend the Constitution, because they don't do it anyway. You know, they've shown their colors. Man, I'm beating another dead horse here. Okay. Another thing on the Second Amendment, the Aurora Sentinel. Now, remember, I've told you about these people in the Bohemian Grove. Now, I don't know if this particular editor is a part of that, but I'll bet you he has friends high up in these things. And if he doesn't know it, he's he's just not paying attention. But I suspect he probably does. But let me read to you what he said. Now, I'm going to abridge this a little bit, but I want to read it. Quote, "No more due process. Send them directly to Guantanamo Bay." I'm talking about the real terrorist threat here in America, the NRA. There are no American values in these people at the top. And the rotten head of the fish is now starting to corrupt and defile the rest of the body. Actually, it's been for a long time, but it's like a super velocity at this point. Can you believe that? Yes, I can. He probably went to Columbia University and went through the Marxist school just like Obama says he did. He probably had, associates in the Weatherman. I wouldn't doubt it a bit. They don't have American values and those kinds of things. People accuse me of sedition for wanting to hold the government responsible, the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. No. Sedition is against that. You guys got it wrong. Yes, I'm against the individuals in the government, but I'm not against our form of government. Big difference, buddies. Don't you ever accuse me of sedition again. You're the ones that are committing sedition that accuse me of it. I'm losing my temper again. I didn't really mean to do this today. Okay. So, anyway, you've got people in positions of power and in the media that can do things like this. They've lost touch, or they deliberately are trying to destroy it. Like I said, if they think those little lone shooters or even these government-operated black ops, if they think those are bad, wait until the government really kicks into high gear and they're killing thousands, if not millions of people. And I fear for that. And that's why I lose my emotions so often on here, because I can see this coming. It's not a prophecy. It's Occam's razor. Okay, when you apply Occam's razor to what you see in the big picture at that level, it's obvious. That's why I get so upset. And I see these people. I see you with your wives, your husbands, your children, your families, your friends, and that life should be beautiful, and these people are trying to destroy it in every way they can. Of course that's going to upset me. And then we've got these freaks in the military and the police that think that by supporting the system, they're going to get theirs. Oh, they're going to get theirs all right. The first people that get axed after the takeover are the collaborators. In history, it's always been that way. You're not going to have your place at the table, guys. And then there's going to be a massive judgment. And those guys that put you in the situation that you're in, they're going to fall too. But you're going to go first. It's just the way history is. Go look it up. Okay. I heard, and I don't know if it's true, I was trying to check it this morning. Somebody wrote into one of my comments and said that the military backed off on this thing with the Christians. Let me tell you something, okay? Don't believe anything they tell you. Publicly, they'll do something, but they will find ways around it. They've already said they're going to do it, okay? The mere fact they would even bring it up shows their intent. So don't sit back and think that you won. I'm not sure that it even happened. It could be disinformation. I have not found it anywhere else. If it's true, that's great, but I would hesitate to sit back and relax because their intent has been revealed, okay? And they'll go about it some other way. Now, I see all this stuff happening against the Christians, the gun owners, the vets, and I want to caution everyone, and I kind of said this before, They are trying to provoke us. I explained this in a video once before. They've done this around the world, provoking Japan, provoking North Korea, provoking, whoever into doing something so they can create a false flag, or provocateuring the real event, but it's provocateur, and then saying, oh, they attacked us first. They are trying to do that with Christians, conservatives, gun owners, vets. Okay, guys? They want us to take the first swing. And if we don't do it, they're, like the Boston bombing thing, they didn't get away with it, but they were gonna provocateur, they were gonna false flag a right-wing person doing something like that. And that's still possible. So they're trying to provoke this. They want a real incident. Hold your fire. Figuratively speaking. You understand what I'm saying? I know you want to react. If they come after you and you need to defend yourself, that's one thing. But, let's get this information out first. That's important. Goebbels understood something, and that's why they're doing it to us. Information, propaganda does win the war. That's where it's won. The battlefield is just the end result. The propaganda is what's important. And there's good and bad propaganda, as I've explained before. And I would hope that you understand that I am coming from the position of good propaganda, that I am interested in securing your life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, not doing anything to take that away. Okay. The UN admitted today that that was the Syrian rebels, the Al-Qaeda, Western-supported Al-Qaeda, that used sarin gas first, not Assad. Duh. That didn't take a big brain to figure that out, but they finally admitted it. Okay, I wanted to just mention real quick, a lot of people were asking, where are our leaders, where are the military that should be helping us out here? There have been about 20 generals that have left the service now over all these things that are going on, either forced out or decided to just leave. So they're there. They're not doing anything right now. As I've said, I'm not sure if they're leaving the country, if they're keeping low profile, or if, they're afraid of losing their retirements, whatever. There are a lot of reasons why they might not speak out. I can't speak for them. I don't know, but let's hope that they do the right thing in the end. Also, I wanted to make a statement about the New Yorker. I heard the other day that they had a story, I think it was on July 7th, 2001, and I did look this up, but I didn't write down the URL, and I'm sorry. But it talks about Admiral Fallon refusing to carry out some orders. So there's an example, okay? So you need to look this stuff up. It's all there. Okay, and I'm going to end on this because I think this is important. And I got this off, and I'm going to have to apologize. I don't remember what site I got this off of, so I really do apologize, but I think it's indicative of some things. Remember, I told you I went through the Terrorism Counteraction Course, the Army Terrorism Counteraction Course back in the 80s. I was one of the first officers to do that. And the definitions, and there were many of them, there wasn't just one. Most everybody looks at terrorism before all this other stuff has started happening, and kind of envisioned the Munich assault on the Israeli athletes. That's kind of what everybody thinks of as terrorism, or the airport bombing, which, by the way, was actually an Operation Gladio. The Roman airport was actually a NATO Black Ops operation to blame it on communists. So, there we go. Again, that's been declassified. You can look that up. And they did a lot of other things. But then when I heard President Bush say, you're either with us or with the terrorists, I knew what that meant. I knew where they were going with this, and that was back in 2001. So, matter of fact, I may have already been deployed by that time and seen it on a military channel. So the point is that, their definitions are not what you would think that they are, and most Americans fall under one definition of terrorism or another. That's why we can't let them give up we can't give up our due process rights, our Fourth Amendment, our Fifth Amendment, our right to trial by jury, all those things. We cannot give those up, even if we are considered terrorists or committed treason. And that's really what you do. You're not a terrorist per se, you've committed treason. And as I explained before, the Constitution is very specific about what happens there. You are to get a trial by jury with at least 2 witnesses against you. When they can call you a terrorist and haul you away, and nobody knows where you went, that's the Stasi. That's the brown shirts. That's Mao. That's not what we have fought and died for. Our fathers and our the people that are responsible for us being here now, our ancestors. We can't give that up. I don't care what the government says. Oh, the whole country's a battlefield. No, 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 no. This is still the United States of America. You still have a right to due process, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, all of those things. And so, they're really committing crimes. And again, I've told you this, with the Patriot Act and the NDAA, Congress is complicit in the criminality. They are co-conspirators. They are either, as a matter of fact, I would go so far as to say they have actually helped to commit the crime. Okay? They are accessories or accessories after the fact in the least. So where am I going? And I'll close on this. I saw the FBI's definition of terrorism. Listen how open-ended this is, and then apply it to what our government does and other governments, but specifically our government with the drone strikes and other things that happen. Listen to this definition. This is very eye-opening because this shows you that they want to point the fingers at everybody else, but they never apply the same reasoning to themselves. And that's what devils do. I didn't do anything. Ever talk to a real devil? Most of you probably haven't. You probably thought some people were real devils. That's what I'm talking about. They'll never take responsibility. I didn't do anything. Remember Bohemian Grove? They're not responsible. They have no conscience. It's a key. When somebody says that, look out. This is what the FBI says. There is no single universally accepted definition of terrorism. Terrorism is defined in the Code of Federal Regulations as, quote, the unlawful use of force or violence against persons or property to intimidate or coerce a government, the civilian population, or any segment thereof, like I say, I can't remember my handwriting sometime, in furtherance of political or social objectives. Oh my gosh. Our own government's guilty of terrorism. Are you kidding me? That definition, our government is guilty of terrorism. All right. No, I'm not going away, ladies and gentlemen. I can't. My conscience won't let me. My oath won't let me. So, here we go. Please keep in touch. Thanks for everything. Take care. Bye.